So simulation is something replicating the original scenario, as I told you, without actually doing it, but checking what will happen if we do it in a virtual condition, not a real condition. So first let me show you how many risks are available for a user at a user level. So I have created the data yesterday, today morning, same data what we have done in the previous sessions. So running in foreground. Yeah. So there is a risk information. User has the count. Let us imagine 1, 2, 6, 9 and A. This is what user has. This is a risk count. So rule ID is 1, 2, 5, 6, 9 and one more is A. So within the risk ID 1, binge risk 1. This is a action level SOD. Okay. So you can check at the bottom you have A series also. Total you can just read the number of rows. How many rows are there? 12 rows are there. So 12, each row indicates, 2 rows indicates one rule ID. So let us take 6 are available. 12 rows and 6 rule IDs are available for the user already. Now if this user is requesting for a new T code access, like he does not have access to SCCL or he does not have access to a T code SU10, so let us try and check what will happen if user will be added with a new T code called, so go to user level simulation. Taking a lot of time. So in this screen you have to enter the details like which system analysis criteria. First step is just the way you enter for risk analysis. So in ECC client 200 for a user called bench user 1. So for this user, the rule set is bench action level. I want to search. Now the details is summary. Saving as a variant. Need not to enter the details again and again. And then second step is simulation criteria. Simulation criteria means what access you want to add for a user. So let us go to second step, that is simulation criteria. So in the second step you want to add a T code, just a T code. So just to give a system name and T code, what T code you want to add for a user. So how we add and all those things secondary, but if user wants this T code SCCL, which is not available to user. Okay. Now run the risk analysis foreground. See the risk IDs, what will be the risk IDs now resultant by adding SCCL. I am not adding SCCL, I am checking if SCCL is added to the user, what will be the count, resultant count of the risks. Now count the risk IDs. 1, 2, 4 is a new one. You can see the new ones which are coming up are highlighted. So this is the one because of SCCL. A 4 combination is coming, and what else combinations are coming? 5 is coming earlier, 6 is already there. So total you can see in 8 also coming up newly, C also coming up newly. So total number of rows, if you observe, 18 rows are there. Earlier, if you remember what are the number of rows, there were only 12 rows of risks. Now 18 rows of risks are coming. Now I have a confusion basically. What exactly is coming due to SCCL? So go back to previous screen and just click use the option we have, risk from simulation only. By adding this T code, what are the new risks that are getting added to the user? You can check that. Only the newly getting added risks. Now run in foreground. Is not selected. Risk from simulation only. And now run in foreground. It is not working properly. So okay, fine. So did you understand the risk IDs now? Anyone has seen the difference, or if you don't understand the difference, let me know. Earlier the rows of the risks were 12 rows. By adding of SCCL, it has increased it to 18 rows. So that will be the new risks. The total 12 plus 6, 18. So 6 rows of risks were introduced newly by adding up SCCL. And you can see they are highlighted because of SCCL combining with what T code, combining with the PFCG, and then SCCL combining with the other T codes. You can see that highlighted in a different color, and you can see it is not coming from a role, just a T code has been added, so it is not showing any role here.
Sridhar, here I see that color is highlighted, right? For that, are we checking for any setting?
No, it is automatically showing that indication. See here, see I have, what I did is, if SCCL is added to user, correct,
Yeah.
I am not assigning a role to user, so it is showing the role is from which role this T code is coming, it is empty. And this
Yes.
SCCL combining with PFUD and causing 0008, SCCL combining with SU01 causing 000C, and SCCL combining with the other one here PFCG and causing 0004. So these are the newly introduced 6 rows. Total 3 IDs which are coming due to risk from simulation. Earlier ones, one is already available to user, but 4 is because of SCCL it is coming now.
Yeah. Okay.
Getting my point? So now
Yes. Yes.
you can
Previously it
take
was
a,
12.
yeah, go ahead.
Previously it was 12, and after adding this T
Yes,
code, it was
yes.
18.
We did not actually add the T code, correct? In a backend system, I did not go and insert the T code SCCL. I'm just checking here in the front end. So this
Yeah.
is called a
You are checking
simulation,
just
virtually.
in case, just in case if the T code is added,
Yeah,
what will be the issue, right?
exactly. So not only with the T code, you can also check it with that role as well. Now let me add some role. Suppose, okay, let me go to previous screen, and here let me take critical action. Next, and remove this now. I'll add a role instead of T code roles. Go to roles tab, add. In this system, technical role in ECC client 200. What role? Searching for X roles in ECC system.
Here in terms of role, we have technical role and we have some business role, right? What is the difference?
Business role will come in the third topic, business role management.
Okay, okay, fine.
We'll discuss there.
Okay.
No, we have only 2 roles. Mm, okay. I think the sync job is not run actually, so it is not recognizing the other roles. These are the roles which we created. Okay. I cannot show you now because I need a role in the backend. Let me add the role. So in this role, I'll keep some T codes which are part of SOD risk and also part of critical action risk, so that we can check for all the risk IDs.
So you're creating this in 200 client, right?
This is a backend system, right? We have roles in the backend only. We don't have in GRC. We are treating 200 as a
Okay.
200 as backend. ECC.
With the plugin system.
Yes, the plugin system.
Okay.
So that we can run the sync job to get these roles into our GRC, and then we'll do the risk analysis.
Okay.
System is very slow. I need to tell. So I'm adding a T code which is a part of SOD risk. SCC9 is a part of SOD risk. If it combines with the SU01, it will cause a risk ID. And then SC38, which is a critical action risk, and even SPRO. So these T codes I'm adding, part of critical action. right? So this role is there now. If I assign this role, so but this role should be visible to user in the GRC. So for that reason we need to run the sync job. So repository sync job and incremental mode. Okay, SPRO. Incremental sync. Done. So now let us go back to simulation screen. If the newly created role is needed for user, so critical action. Next, when this role is added, So this role, this is a newly created role, XBS simulation testing bench. So the T codes which are part of this role are not yet assigned to user, not available to user. So if we add this role, what will be the new risks coming to user can be known. So run in foreground now. So coming to action level SOD risks, the count is, number of rows count is 18. It doesn't, so it is again because of this T code SCC9. If you go to critical action, the count increases. Earlier user had only one SCC5. You can see the color of the new T codes introduced above because of new role. SC38 and SPRO because of new role, they are also coming up in critical action. So this user is getting risks at two levels, at SOD risk level as well as critical action level also. And new risks have been introduced. Risk 2 is there now for this user, which is a critical action risk, which is SOD level, action level. You can see this is the risk ID and these are the rule IDs. Clear everyone? So do you feel this is important or not? So just imagine now, if GRC is not there, what will happen? You are not able to identify the risks, and then you are directly assigning the role to user. User will request you, he will get approval for it, and you just assign the role. But we never thought of risk coming due to assignment of the role. Correct? In our earlier career, while you are doing work as a security consultant, we never thought of that. But after GRC has been introduced, I cannot imagine without GRC it will be very difficult for us to analyze which risks will come beforehand by assigning a role, by assigning a T code. So in this way, simulation is very important topic.
One question, Sridhar. So, how it was earlier handled, like the SOX related auditing, all those things, right? Before the GRC, the SOD related auditing stuff, those things, right? Before GRC get introduced.
Before GRC.
So how it was really handled. There may be so many conflict, right?
Yes,
In
so
terms
that
of
was
people.
then there was a separate teams for this thing. They used to do audit point of view. They used to come and check. In SUIM you have one option was introduced. If you had ever observed in SUIM,
Yeah.
there was one option with search users with critical authorizations. I don't know it is available here or not.
Yes,
Let me
I
check.
know.
So that was one they
So,
used to do,
okay.
but that is only critical, only one area.
Correct. So, however, even though, right, there may be so many other things maybe they
Yes,
have to do
exactly.
better,
So
right?
that was very difficult task in those days. That was I am telling. So why people now today going for, everybody is going for GRCs? This is the main reason. So within a fraction of seconds, you are getting the reports, right? Otherwise, just imagine single user will have how many T codes, and each role contains how many T codes.
Right.
Checking them in different permutations, combinations manually is very difficult. Takes a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah,
time.
it's not
If
possible. Like, yeah, almost like the big companies and all, it will be very challenging.
yes,
How many transaction code, how many users are there, how many
exactly.
profile they
So
need
this
to
is one
manage.
option available in SUIM. Users with the critical authorizations. So without GRC, this is one helpful to us to check the critical authorizations like SOD or critical actions and something like that. But otherwise, we don't have any other thing within SAP to check this critical combinations and SOD risks and all those things.
Okay.
Sridhar, one question.
Yeah.
like if there is any custom T code, so we just need to add that custom T code in function. Is that the only thing we do while doing the risk analysis?
Some custom T code is introduced.
Yeah, so we just need to add in a particular function. Will that be fine, or do we need to do anything else?
Yeah, that is fine. Wherever, see, custom T code generally will be a copy of a standard T code, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So wherever the standard T code is there, in the same function you add this T code also. That would be fine.
Okay, okay. So same with the object as well.
So first thing is you have to run repository sync job, not repository authorization sync job, because custom T codes means new T code. New T code means authorization sync has to be run. So only authorization sync runs, then only you can add in the function. So all the necessary things you have to do first.
Okay.
Right? So this is the screen for a list of users with critical authorizations. So here you have to define the variant, like critical combination. Click here on critical combination. You give that combination, like what is SU01 plus SCC4 combination, or authorization objects, etc., etc. And then you execute with that values, variants. When you click on here, it will give a variant, and based on the variant, you can search here. So this to some extent will help you in identifying those SOD risks and critical action risks. Otherwise, as a whole, it is difficult. We have many other purposes also because of GRC, where we can do a lot of things. So that is user level risk analysis. And here we have two options. I said risk from simulation only. Actually, it is not showing. I don't know why. What is the reason? Risk from simulation only means it does not show you the existing risks. It will only show you the upcoming risks because of adding of this new T codes or new role. It is not working. I don't know why. Critical action. Yeah, this is working. You can see this one. So this is showing up. SC38, SPRO are coming due to the new role only. It is not showing the existing risk. So this is a good example. Now go back, remove this risk from simulation. You cannot see one, right? Rule ID 1 now. When I go back and remove that option called as risk from simulation only, you see 1, 2, 5. So remove this and then run in foreground. Now check for critical actions.
Figure what is exclude values here?
I'll come that. Just let me complete this.
Okay.
So now I did not tick it, right? Now if you go to critical action, now you see all the three, 1, 2 and 5. So 1 is already existing one, 2 and 5 are upcoming ones. So I don't want to see already existing ones, I want to see only upcoming ones. So then you go for this option called what is risk from simulation only. Clear everyone, this option?
Yeah, got it. But the thing is, so we want to include some of the T code for a role, right? And we are doing the risk from simulation concept and proceeding that, trying to identify some of the risk. What are the new risks and all?
A little
But
bit loud, I'm not able to hear you properly.
yeah, we want to still go for the new, even though if the new risks are showing, right?
Okay.
Still, we want to include the transaction and proceed further for the business reason, whatever. So in that case, so we need to go for risk mitigation concept only.
Yes, only that is the one. So I told you, if risk is there and you want to accept it, only mitigation is a possible option.
Okay.
So we now in this case we know that because of adding of this role there are two critical risks coming up, right? But still you want to add the role.
Right.
User is user has got approvals all. He was very he is the only person he is able to do these tasks, and you have to approve him. The only thing left out is mitigation.
Okay.
Assigning the role and then you mitigate it.
Okay. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, now coming to exclude values. So far I have been saying when I add a T code, when I add a role, correct? But you can also use simulation for removing of T code and removing of a role without actually removing a role. without actually removing the T code, you can check what will be the resultant risks. So let me see. Your user has access to T code SU01, correct? Security transaction. If I remove SU01 from user, so then you should need to select this one, exclude value. Means what happens is a system excludes SU01 and then run risk analysis and show you the resultant screen. Okay, run in foreground. How many rows of risk user has had? Actually 12 rows. By removing SU01, it should decrease. The count should decrease. See how many rows user has now? Just 6 rows or 8 rows. So it has decreased from 12 to 12 rows to 8 rows by removing SU01. Clear?
Which means 4 risk. Okay.
So 1, 2, 5, 6 is there. 9 and A are disappeared.
Yeah, there are 4 risk.
So by removing SU01, this will be the resultant screen. Getting my point? Understood? Exclude values.
And if you want to remove any roles, then also we will put as
Yeah, you
exclude
go to
value.
the screen of roles. Go to the
Okay.
roles. Which role has to be removed? User has 2 roles, right? One is a security
Yeah.
admin role and a client admin role. Then select any one role if you remove any one role out of the 2 roles. So user has 2 roles, these 2 roles. Let us say if I remove security admin role. Okay.
Okay.
Now run the risk analysis. There will be no risks because user will have only one function. Exclude values is mandatory to exclude this role and then run risk analysis. See, no risks. But if you go to critical action, there will be a risk which is coming, which is part of another role. Critical action will be there, but SOD risk disappeared.
So basically, exclude values is only for current user assigned.
Yes, whatever the user has, if any access one has to be removed, without actually removing it, you can check it. If it is removed, what will be the risk count? Will
Okay,
there
out
be
of his,
impact? Will there be any impact on his risk or not?
okay, sure, fine.
So by removing this role, there is an impact in SOD risk. XOD risk have been completely removed, but critical action risk is the same as it is. It doesn't change.
But critical action should show for 3 T codes, right? SE38 and one more also. Those 2, why aren't they coming?
See, what is the condition you applied here?
Exclude.
Are you adding the are you adding the role?
No, removing it.
Removing the existing role to user. User
Yes.
has access to SU01, PFCG, PFUD part of this role. And user has other 4 T codes, SEC4, SEC5, SEC1 and SEC7 of client admin role. User never had SE38 and SE93, SPRO. I think you are getting confused. Earlier, when we had tried to add the third role contains those T codes.
Okay. Simulation role contains those T codes, right?
Exactly. This is existing role to user. Security admin is existing role. If I remove this role, there will be no risks at T code level, SOD level. But action level will remain same, right? Because it is a part of, it is coming from the client admin role, not from the security role. SEC 5 is a part of client admin role. So this is
Yes.
client admin role. Hence it is showing up. We are not adding the access here. We are removing the access.
Yes, student. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. So clear with the two options, exclude values and risk from simulation only. Very important. They can ask you in detail like this. So in simulation, what do you mean by exclude values? In user level simulation, what do you mean by risk from simulation only? They can ask you questions like this. Now coming to the role level simulation, you have two more options there. Just like these two options. Let us check those two. So we rarely go for this user level simulation or role level risk analysis. Role level simulation will be done when role is being modified. Suppose you got a request to modify the role, addition of T codes or removal of T codes. Then we go for role level simulation. Or for a composite role, if you want to add one more single role into a composite role, or removing a single role from a composite role, then we go for role level simulation. System, select the role name. So an ECC 200 technical role type, and role X star search. Suppose in security or client admin role, I'll take it. You can see both. So within a client admin role, there will not be any SOD risks because it belongs to same function. Okay, so let us add rule set. In bench detail, I want to see only critical actions. Let us talk about critical actions. So in this role, client admin bench, there is only one critical action, that is SCC5. Okay, if I add another T code into it, into the role, if I add another T code, if I got a request to modify this role and add another T code like SPRO or SC38 within the same T code, let us take it as SPRO. Add SPRO. Okay, now run in foreground. So already there is one critical action SCC5 within the role. By adding this SPRO, there will be two critical actions within the role now. It will show as two rule IDs will be available. See, 0001 is already available in the role. 0005 is coming due to adding of SPRO. It is not related to a role by adding this T code. So before you, whenever you get a role modification request, by adding this, will there be any new risk introduced or not? You can generate a report and then again take a decision whether to go ahead with the request or not. And not only that, this, by adding of this T code into the role, how many users get affected? That is why you have option called include users. How many composite roles get affected? This single role may be a part of multiple composite role. Hence these two options are also given here. So you can check how many users will get additional risks by adding of T code into this role. Getting my point? There is a role which is assigned to 100 users. By adding SPRO into this role, these 100 users also getting impacted. That is why you have include users. And this single role is also a part of 10 composite roles. These 10 composite roles also get impacted. And extra risk is coming into those composite roles. And extra risk is coming to those 100 users by adding of SPRO into your role. So in a large scale, you can analyze now whether to go ahead with this change or not. Clear, everyone?
Yeah.
But this one we checked only for critical action, right? We
Yes.
usually don't check for critical action. Only for actions we in generally check, right, Sridhar?
Only for actions in the sense?
Critical actions are different than daily usable actions, right?
Whatever, see, you got a request to add some T code, like let us say SCC8 You got a request to add SCCA, run in foreground and check it. It will not show you any risks now. Only SCC5 is a critical action, so it will be SCC5 will be a, okay, it is ticked here. So when you add a normal T code, SCC4, SCC8, which also belongs to client administration, that will not cause any critical action risks. So without a doubt, you can go and add this T code.
I was talking about the previous screen. Check mark.
Check mark you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Which check mark? This one?
Previous, not this one. Previous screen.
Previous.
Yeah.
There, what is what you want?
Here you have checked for critical action, right? Not
if I
action
check for
level.
action level, what is these two? SOD, right?
Okay.
So in a role, we generally don't add another T codes. Suppose, see, SOD when it comes for you to show, I should add SU01 into this role. Then only SOD will cause SOD risk and show you, right?
Yes, yeah.
So let me show you. But if I add SU01 into this role, see the risk IDs, how many will come now? Without actually, in a role level, there will be no SOD risk. By adding of SU01 into the role level, within the role level also there will be an SOD risk. See the list here. SCC4 combining with SU01, SCC5 combining with SU01. Within a role, generally we don't have SOD risks. But by adding of SU01, even you got SOD risks. And this, how many users are assigned to this role? And then how many composite roles are impacted because of the single role? That is why we have include users and include composite roles. Clear?
Sridhar, sorry to rephrase my question.
Yeah.
See, if we have a requirement wherein in a role, if we are asked to add a T code. Right?
Okay. Okay. Right. Go ahead.
In that case, we generally go for action level or the permission level and generate the simulation
Pick everything.
report, right?
Pick everything and check it. What is there? I want to check everything. Run next. Now next, go next and foreground. So you will analyze now. By adding of SU01, these are the new SOD risks at action level. At permission level, do you have anything? Yes, we even have at permission level also. New risks are coming up. We even have at critical action level also. So just with one T code, all types of risks are appearing in the role level.
Okay, Sridhar.
Got it?
Yeah, got it. When we are selecting all those options, here we'll get risks related to all types.
Yes.
And it is depending on us which action we would like to check. I mean, which report you would like to check.
Which type you want to check. SOD type you want to check, or critical action you want to check, or critical permission you want to check. You can prepare a separate Excel sheet for all the three. By adding of SU01, these are the SOD risks. By adding of SU01, these are the critical action risks. By adding of SU01, these are the critical permission. All three types are appearing in the report. So very dangerous to add SU01 in the role. You give a report to the people.
Okay, thank you.
And understood this concept, why when do we go for include users and include composite roles? Because that single role is assigned to multiple users, and that single role will be a part of include composite roles. So business roles you will understand when we go to the concept of BRM.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so again I'm telling the question, same point. So whatever level of this thing you take, measures you take at the role level, again when it goes to user level, when multiple roles are assigned, the SOD risk will appear, critical action will appear, etc., etc. So mainly we concentrate on user level rather than the role level. We neglect at role level. We can just concentrate on the user level, because finally auditor checks whether user has a risk or not. in the role the risk is there or not is not a question. There may be a risk in a role, but only when that role is assigned to users only, that is a risk to user. Okay, clear everyone? Regarding the user simulations concepts, user level, role level, profile level we never do because we don't create profile anytime. And HR objects level simulation means we go in HR security. When we add additional role to position, already there is one role in a position, we assign another role to a position, then we do HR level simulation for that position or unit or a job. So only during the HR security. Okay. Right. So I'll stop it here because most of the crowd is